big difference in radiation and chemo, especially, are the radiation. I've had 3 different 6-week treatments, and they never really. I mean, they didn't completely confuse my system the way chemotherapy did. Now I did have some patches of hair loss, but nothing like the chemo where you could just pull my hair out. And I had some nausea, dizziness, that kind of stuff, but I could still eat very well. And with the stem cell transplant, more or less, the stem cell transplant is just basically them hooking an IV to you and running the stem cells. That was really nothing. It was the fact that they had to kill your immune system beforehand, which they did with chemotherapy and radiation. But the chemotherapy, so while I was having the stem cell transplant, I had everything from I had to bathe every 4 hours because a specific chemotherapy that I was getting would leach through your skin. It would exit your body through your skin and cause sores. So I had to wash every 4 hours. And that was awful. It was for like a week. So you didn't get any sleep. And when you did, you had to get up and take a bath. And with the chemo, I also developed osteonecrosis, which is where the inside part of your bone, it starts to die, and it leaves a hollow core inside of your bones, which then when pressure has to equalize, like on a plane ride, anytime the weather changes, it really like makes your knees really sore because your pressure in your knee, inside your knee, is a different pressure than outside, so it's equalizing. And that's in all my joints. Osteoporosis, so I have very, very weak bones. I've had my lungs, my kidneys, basically all of my organs are at a diminished capacity. Running a marathon is out of the question for me. Not that I would want to do that anyway, even before cancer. So then chemo brain, it's your short-term memory, your attention span, your focus, all of that. It's kind of like having ADHD on steroids. And I know I had ADHD growing up. It's very similar, except you just leave the stove on, that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think of peripheral neuropathy. My nerves are damaged, and that causes my feet to feel like they're on fire sometimes, and sometimes they freeze, and sometimes it's an odd sensation. Nerve pain in my legs, nerve pain kind of all over the place at times. And then there's losing your hair. I was bald for probably 7 or more years. And eyelashes, eyebrows, everything falls out. And then probably the worst part, or the part I hated the most, was the food. I love to eat, and I couldn't eat. I was so sick that I didn't want food. I didn't eat food, and I finally had to have a feeding tube put in because I wasn't eating. I wasn't getting nourishment, and that was kind of the catalyst that made me eat. It was just aggravating, and I went into the medicine room, which is kind of like the St. Jude ER. They're open 24/7. They take care of everything after hours, and they also take care of basically blood transfusions, that kind of thing. And I went in one night, and it was bugging me, and it had kind of turned around in my stomach and was coming back up. And I said, if you guys don't pull it, I'm going to pull it. And they pulled it out. And so after that, I started eating a lot. But I also, I mean, I had to find things that I wouldn't barf. So it was pretty terrible. But I finally found 3 or 4 things like bananas, and even if you do throw them up, they taste about the same. So it was kind of like trying to find, I don't know, it was just awful. It was needle in a haystack, and I can't think of any more, but I'm sure there are plenty of more side effects and that kind of stuff of chemotherapy. But that was at least most of my experience.